You see what you can accomplish, Nigel, when you are earnest for just like 5 minutes? Do you see the kind of conversations we can have?
Hey, I start out from that like antagonistic position, and I soften it. We go.
And then I have to
take
wear
different
you
directions.
down.
Yeah.
I have to wear you down with questions and rational, logical. Like, what do you mean, Nigel? Why do you make it so difficult for people to love you?
Oh no! Ouch!
Ouch! Why do you...
Ouch!
Hi, and welcome to Rice to Meet You, your comedy podcast about Asian culture. My name is Evelyn Mock.
And I'm your co-host, Nigel Ng.
I did say host.
You should say starring. What? I'm Evelyn Mock. Like what is this?
I don't know. I was very confused. I was very stressed out. I'm always stressed out when I do the intro because I have to time it with the intro music as it fades out.
Mm-hmm.
And I just get stressed because we're on a Zoom call and I never know how to time it.
Well, the thing is, we can always edit. So I don't know why you're worried. We can always edit in post. You worry about shit you don't need to worry about. I think it's part of your issues. Do you bring this up to your therapist? Do you bring this up to your therapist? Like,
yes, I do.
Claudia, I have issues where I fear the end of the music. I fear when the music fades out. I fear it. It's episode 99. I've done this 99 times. But I still fear. I fear the fade. Is it because my mom hit me as a kid? Maybe you can save that for our 100th episode, you know?
No,
The trauma
I'm
zone.
not gonna bum people out with my traumatic story in our 100th episode. Is that what we're gonna do for the 100th episode? It's like, I'm gonna do what I do best, which is talk about trauma.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna do what you do best, which is offend people.
Oh,
so
yeah.
they'll get it.
I'm
They'll get an
surprised.
episode.
I'm surprised nobody got offended by the shit I said last episode. What's happening, people? You guys are losing your edge.
Oh,
You guys are supposed to
gosh.
cancel me every episode. What happened? Oh, because it's gaslighting. It's gaslighting, bro. It's gaslighting. If you say
Oh,
something I don't
God.
agree with, it's
Okay.
gaslighting. That's such a great term to use now, by the way. If someone says something you don't agree with, you just say they're gaslighting you. Oh my God, it's such a cheat code in life.
Gaslighting is not about people who don't agree with you. Gaslighting is about people who try to obscure your reality.
Yes, that's the true meaning, but the way people use it now, right?
You can't.
Did I test positive for COVID? You're gaslighting me, doctor. You're trying to convince my
Nigel.
reality is different. You're gaslighting me with this positive COVID PCR test.
So I was just trying to make a lighthearted joke, and then he just takes it personally and takes it as a personal attack and has to go on the offense towards everybody.
It's funny.
This is basically our episodes now.
Yeah, it's great. That's why you got to support our Patreon people, because like it's only a matter of when I get canceled.
I mean, I feel like asking people to support our Patreons just because you've made yourself unworkable in every other thing.
People want
It's
to
not
hear.
a good way
People
of
want to
asking
hear.
for support.
People want to hear me unfiltered. You
I
know?
mean, do they?
When else do
Do
you get
they,
this type
though?
of conversation? Our listeners tend to know they work in an office. They have to like filter layers. I worked in an office too. It's like layers after layer of like filtering yourself and censoring yourself and taking care of other people's feelings and worrying about HR, what HR will think. So like this is an
care of
escape for
other
them.
people's
This is an escape
feelings.
where they hear this crazy guy trying to be funny by saying outrageous shit. And sometimes it happens to be about Asian culture. So
I mean, I feel like that just shows how you're wired. Taking care of other people's feelings. That's what you consider being considerate?
yeah.
Like,
Yeah. What? Is that not considerate?
it's not. It just shows how you think about feelings and people, other people.
Yeah, that's how I think about it. So what? Like, is it a wrong way? It's just a different way from how you think about them. You know? You care about other people's feelings so much, you lie to yourself.
What
You
do
know.
I lie to myself? That's better than going on The Office even more.
No, it's quite entertaining to me to see people take what I say seriously. But yeah, if you wanna keep me like this, keep me unfiltered, uncensored, and keep Evelyn unfiltered and uncensored as well. We can't just rely on ads, because sometimes the stuff we say gets demonetized on YouTube.
Have we been demonetized on YouTube?
Yeah, the Yellow Lives Matter episode. That one got demonetized because of the keyword. Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, All Lives Matter people. YouTube thinks a sensitive topic, so they demonetize us, which is a real thing. Yeah. So I think that's why we can't just rely on ads. Even if we have a sponsor, sometimes they might leave because, it's depending on the things we say. So Patreon is direct contribution, directly supporting us. And we use our Patreon money to good things like buying this plant. See?
Oh my God.
Look at
this.
it.
I was just going to say.
Isn't it nice? Tell me it looks nice. Tell me.
I mean, Nigel, your background looks cluttered.
Cluttered?
Now. Yeah.
What do you mean cluttered?
It looks cluttered.
Wow,
that's
look at rich
my
coming
background.
from you.
Look, okay, so this has actually happened again. Like, I'm going from cluttered to uncluttered. Nigel's going from uncluttered to cluttered. I mean, you have a plant now, you have something next to the plant, and then you have another photo of your face, and then you have the teddy bear thing, and then you have, like, an alcohol thing?
Yes.
Or the Uncle Roger figurine.
Yeah.
It's looking a bit cluttered.
Listen, so many things to unpack here. Number one, yours looks like you just moved in. What's with the walls?
Doesn't.
Where's the color?
Look at it. I have like a bookcase up.
It's
I can't
blank.
paint it.
It's blank. Hang some pictures on the wall. Don't just put the picture frames on the table.
This is a very modern way of doing it.
No, it's not.
That means that I don't have to drill in holes.
You don't have to drill in holes to hang shit on walls. You can use like the wall-safe tape. I rent too. I hang stuff on walls. It looks nice.
Yeah, but this is a very modern way of doing it. You just put it on the table.
You do both.
Very nice.
You do both. You need.
Nice.
It's too blank there. And
where is it too blank? Where?
To your
I'm
right.
covering the blank part.
Yeah, the back part. Yeah, it's too blank.
I'm covering it.
Oh, you're covering it. Okay.
With and there's a bookcase and everything.
All right, fine. Personally, I think because your flat is already so minimal, I would prefer like a bigger picture that's like messier, maybe some abstract art, some dimension that has dimension instead of like neat lines again.
Sorry, I don't have a Nigel Ung poster on my wall.
It's nice. Look at that. Adds a splash of color. I chose it on purpose.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So much dimension to it. So much going on in that poster.
And secondly, you can't call this clutter because this is shit I chose to put there on purpose. Your backdrop before you moved was just, my mom has a room with boxes in it. Let's set up a camera. So this is different. I have stuff, quite a bit of stuff, but it's stuff I chose for the mise en scène. Okay? It's not my refugee moving boxes. Okay? It's not like
saying refugee.
It's not like soup kitchen. I stand in line and they give me this box full of canned food. Boxes.
Oh, come on. Come on.
It's not a mattress that nobody slept on for years. It's not a broken table. It's not like, your mom said, don't buy that table. I have a table at home. And then the table's in your filming set. It's not that. This is stuff I chose and lovingly placed. I set up the camera and then I push it a little bit to the right to get a good composition,
I think that's worse if you chose it. Because I had no choice, but you chose. You had choice. And I'm going to be honest, looking a little bit cluttered. I don't know. People,
let us know,
give
listeners.
us comments. Yeah, let us know. Let us know.
Cluttered or nice home decor. Okay? Can't believe you're saying this. Cluttered. Coming from you. Coming from you.
I mean, look at it.
Who lives with like...
The color ensemble is very good. It's interesting stuff. People are wondering what it is. It's Moomin, and then it's an Ingela P. Arrhenius Hey Stockholm poster. That's like a limited edition that she did for the Museum of Modern Art in Stockholm. And then I have my bookcase with interesting books and a photo of Laura. Oh, what's her name again?
Yeah, Evelyn loves putting stuff she doesn't know because it makes her look smart.
Laura Palmer. Oh, and I have Laura Palmer in the background as well.
Oh, again, listeners, Evelyn had to take 5 minutes to Google it because for some reason you put stuff. Why do you not remember names?
I don't know. Well, this just temporarily escaped me. I don't know.
There's something wrong with you with your memory.
Names and words. Yeah, and memory. Like, yeah, my memory's pretty bad. I don't know why. Like, I'll remember things, but I won't remember specifics like names or stuff like that. I'll remember like the general context of something.
Yeah, I think your memory is bad. Like, you forgot to write new jokes. You know? Hey! Listeners, I saw Evelyn last time I saw you do a stand-up was like 2020? 2019, right?
What?
In 99 Club, right? Remember in London? Because we're having
like
lunch
new material.
or something.
Oh, yeah.
Not new material, but like a proper night. And then we're having like at Leicester Square, Ruby Blue, Tuesday or something.
Oh, you mean, was it the can thing?
No. See, you don't even remember that. We were having lunch and then you're like, oh, I have a gig that night. I like, okay, I'll tag along, just watch your stuff. And then same shit from 7 years ago, man. What's the deal? What's the deal with that? And
why are you personally attacking me about this?
No, it's
Is it
funny.
relevant? Is it relevant on the podcast?
Is it not funny? Is it not funny?
I don't think it is.
You're laughing. All right, feel free to trim it. I find it hilarious when I bully people.
Exactly. You find it so funny. I find it impedes conversation.
I mean, you bullied me on the backdrop. I found it hilarious.
Yeah.
I found that hilarious.
But bully me about something relevant. Like,
no, it's relevant
stand-up is
because
so
I
irrelevant.
always see you like putting as an Insta story saying that, oh, I have a deadline. I'm writing so much. I'm writing this treatment. I'm writing so much. I'm like, well, have you ever considered putting a small deadline, writing an Insta story about how you have to write new jokes, you know? Instead of treatments, want to try a few new jokes?
Sure. You know what, Nigel? If it'll make you happy, I'll do an Insta story about having a deadline about writing about jokes.
Yes.
Like writing new jokes. I'll put a small Insta story for my private list where I say I'm struggling to write new jokes.
Yes.
Ha 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 ha.
Green star it. Show me. I want to see it.
You're such...
Okay.
Oh God. I mean, I wish we would have filmed at your house, at your mom's house in Malaysia, so that we could see how your parents' house looks.
Let me think. I think I can find one corner that's nice.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No, my sister films at my mom's house, and her videos look okay.
Yeah.
You know, she's setting up her little home studio. Yeah, in her room. Yeah, she's setting up a little home studio. So if you filmed there, I probably would have like gotten like our light, got 2 chairs, and put it in my sister's room. Got a nice corner, hang up some stuff.
Nice.
You know? Yeah.
You should have had your sister on the pod. We should have had her as a guest.
She doesn't speak English that well. She's not very confident in the English, yeah. But she will, if she's interested. Yoki can get on the pod.
Yeah, Yoki. I want to hear her play the harmonica.
Yeah, she's good. Just go follow her on Instagram or something.
That's so funny. In Malaysia. I mean, somebody wrote me on DMs. They were like, oh, Nigel should do, now that he's in Malaysia, he should do a video with other Asian uncles where they out-Asian uncle him.
Yeah, I did exactly that. You
did exactly that?
Yeah, if you don't know, listeners, I did a video collab with Chef Wan. Chef Wan is like the biggest Malaysian celebrity chef out there. And I happen to know my cousin who knows everything in Malaysia is done through word of mouth. So my cousin knows this person who works for Chef Wan's restaurant, like the managing director of it. So the guy was like, hey, Chef Wan's interested. You want to do it? I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, for sure. There's no other way for me ever in my life to work with him. So I'm a fan. So yeah, he's so amazing. And he's one of those people who's just like so a showman, naturally funny. Just like a great energy on camera. He's been doing this 30 years also. So he's like a proper chef, amazing chef, great TV host, great personality. So funny, man. Like it's like funnier than most of the comedians I know. That level funny. Yeah. So it's like so funny. I had to like go into the restaurant. I usually go there earlier, go to the place earlier to scout out the location, see what jokes I can say about certain things and where the camera should show. like plan out, direct the scene in my head, right? So I had to write some jokes as well. And he just off the cuff responded to me, had his own thing, had his own jokes. So funny. It just put me in awe, you know?
But that's often the thing. Like, usually the funniest people are not comedians. It's like my cousin is probably the funniest person I know. Like, she's so funny, but she would have no ambitions to becoming a comedian.
Yeah.
She's just herself.
It's a shame. I think comedians should go watch that video and you'll realize how shit you are. He's like Robin Williams level funny. He keeps going. And it's funny. So much gold in there. You know? So such a great video too. And it's like, Uncle Roger, I roast people and roast people's fried rice and stuff. So that video, I got roasted back. So funny, man. I love it. Love every second of it.
But the thing is, like, of course he would be funnier than Uncle, like, Nigel, he's a real Asian uncle. So of course he would out Asian uncle you.
That's true.
Because you're just a guy pretending to be an Asian uncle. So it's like, of course he would be, out funnying you and out Asian uncling you.
Yeah, I know. And I hope one day to eventually get to that level. Get to the Asian uncle level funny.
Yeah.
I'm like, Uncle Roger's character is 50 years old, right? So I'm going to be 30 when this episode comes out, I would have been 30. Fuck! No!
What's your birthday?
My birthday is March 15th, so Monday.
Oh.
So when this episode comes out, I would have been 30 years old plus 1 day. Oh no, so sad.
Yay.
What have I achieved in life? What have I achieved, people?
You've bought a plant.
Yeah, but a plant. That's so sad. That's like, is this the guy version of cats? The cat lady, the plant man.
When you get a plant?
Yeah. Because I'm thinking of getting a second one because it looks so nice.
Oh my God.
It looks really nice.
Don't get a second plant.
It looks like it adds a lot of life to the house. I have flowers. I always have like fresh cut flowers, and then I have plants. Oh, you can't see the flowers. Let me show it to you. I always have like flowers.
Too.
It's dying now.
What's happening with them?
It's dying. It's been here for a week now. I bought them at Waitrose. But yeah, I always have nice flowers, some plants. I think it adds some life to an otherwise pretty drab apartment. So I got all the basic white woman stuff, man. Plant, candles, all the stuff. I'm gonna invest in reed diffusers next.
What's a reed diffuser?
So little sticks in the perfume bottle. Come out.
Yeah, I'm gonna get that too.
Those are nice. But I digress. In 20 years, I'll be an Asian uncle, and in 20 years' time, I'll just become like Uncle Roger. That I'll just be him.
Yeah.
I have to wear an orange polo for the next 20 years, and I'll become him.
Wait, are you gonna keep doing Uncle Roger for 20 years?
I don't know if the character keeps growing and like evolving with the times. Why not?
That's so sad. That's the saddest thing.
How is that sad? It's a YouTube thing. People like YouTubers. They feel like they get to know them,
For 20 years, you're going to keep doing the same character for 20 years.
Yeah, maybe a bit long.
That's a bit long. Oh my God. I think Mr. Bean didn't even last for 20 years.
You can't compare Mr. Bean to like the YouTube space. Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like isn't YouTube very rejuvenating? It keeps like craving new things and reinventing itself.
Well,
so
there are creators who have been around for years. Like, look at PewDiePie. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, I think as long as I keep enjoying it and the character evolves, I think gradually it's gonna become like me on the channel. But it depends on how it's gonna. If I'm still doing YouTube in 20 years, I think it'll probably be like just me. But like I'm probably gonna be very close to Uncle Roger in personality.
Just you with like 10 plants.
Yeah. Still talking about Auntie Helen.
Yeah. Talking about
you. Every year after the divorce, for every year I buy a new plant. I buy a new plant for every year.
Nigel, that's what's happening with your background. That's why it's getting increasingly cluttered, because you're becoming Uncle Roger for real. So it's just going to get more and more cluttered, and then you'll just be sitting there with your leg up and in an orange polo and like just the most cluttered background. There's not going to be mise en scène. There's going to just be like just plants and photos of you and boxes.
Don't say that could be a reality, you know. Sometimes I look at my life and I'm like, oh no, maybe I'm the one buying crystals. Maybe this is my crystal.
Yes, please send all of your crystal DMs to Nigel instead of me.
My crystal is a Kentia fern. This is my crystal.
People keep sending me things about crystals on Instagram, and I'm like, please just stop. Stop doing that.
Don't stop. I love it. Evelyn bitches about you guys to me all the time.
No,
and I'm like,
I don't.
I'm like, Evelyn, you talk about how lonely and sad you are. What do you expect people who like you to do? You know? You talk about how many issues you have.
Oh my God. I mean, honestly, I've actually just discovered that I'm happier on my own than trying to get into like relationships with people. I find them too complicated. Too much.
One thing at a time. You haven't even gone on a date yet. Let's not use the word relationship. Okay? How long has it been now? You know?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
But it's okay. You can talk to Claudia about this. I fear the intro music, and I fear WhatsApping guys. I fear that. I type the number into my phone, and then the WhatsApp comes up, and I see that profile picture in the circle, and I get cold feet. Why, Claudia? Why?
I actually talked to her about this, and she just laughed at me.
The profile picture on WhatsApp scares me, Claudia. It scares me. I see a glimpse of their face, and it scares me. I don't want to text them anymore.
Oh my God, I did
if I'm
talk to her about
scared of this face on my phone in a circle, I'm scared of them in real life with a 3-dimensional face in front of me.
I actually, this week in my therapy session, her dog just joined us. So at one point she was just sitting there holding her dog, and her dog was like sleeping cradled up next to her, which was very cute. But I was like, I feel like I've leveled up in therapy. I feel like this is a stereotype now. Like, and she was wearing a shawl as well. And I was like, I love my therapist, but like, it was just like, I'm like, I feel like I'm in a stereotype right now. Like, you cannot be wearing a shawl, cradling your dog, and asking me about my intimacy issues. Like, it's just too much.
She's holding a little chihuahua. So
well, it was like a mixed. I think her dog is mixed, and I think part of it is Chihuahua. So she was just sitting there and just like really enjoying cradled up into her. And I was like, I mean, I guess it is quite therapeutic with pets. It is, but also I was like, what is this? What am I doing?
It's so funny having a pet that's stroking her dog. So,
yeah.
Do you hate your own naked body when you look in the mirror?
Which is actually a question she has asked
really?
to me.
So what do you answer? I'm curious. Because if you ask me that question, I'm like, fuck no, I love it. I stare at it too much. I stare at it, especially if the lighting's good at the gym and the lights comes from up top and it casts a shadow on my abs and it's more defined. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
It's real, you know. This is actually thoughts that go through my head. Of course, I don't
I
act
know.
it up. But that's a thought that if Claudia asked me that question, this would be what I answer. And I can't help but take a selfie. And then I'm like, should I use the front camera or the back camera? If I use the back camera, you can catch myself in the mirror. I get a full-length shot. But it's a front camera, then it's like more of a close-up, you know?
Oh my God.
But the gym lighting is so good. I miss Fitness First. Part of it is because of the gym lighting. Really. There's just something they do there that makes that has a contrast.
The fluorescent light makes you like look better.
I really think gym lighting does make you look better, you know? I don't know how they do it. Maybe it's, maybe they have a very narrow beam and it's spot from above, straight above. And the color, I don't know, because I've taken the best selfies at the gym, and the gym selfie is a trope for a reason, right? Because the lighting is perfect for to get that line and the contrast and the definition. And right after the gym session, you have a pump going, so your muscles look just a little bit bigger because you have the pump, the pump, bro. You feel the pump, and then you take.
I think I know what your future is going to be after Uncle Roger. It's just going to be workout. It's just going to be workout videos. It's gonna be what Kevin Creeder does.
No.
Just like pushing yourself up on the couch.
Listen, I don't have his body. His body is way nicer than mine. But I'm just saying, this is how I would answer Claudia.
I see.
When you look in the mirror, do you hate your body? Okay, so what would you answer? Sorry, I hijacked myself.
Well, the thing is, the thing that this is the most Nigel thing I know, which is like our mutual friend told us that you guys were out and then all of a sudden you just like pulled your shirt up in like a car window and you were like, my abs aren't as defined today.
Listen.
They're not as defined. Oh, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, this, and she was like, he actually did that, Evelyn. He actually pulled his shirt up and reflected himself in a car window while we were walking.
We were walking to go work out. Not to get coffee, to go work out. Okay? So that makes it more acceptable. I was already in my workout clothes. I was already going to do that in 5 minutes at the gym. So I'm just doing that a bit earlier. Okay? It's not like I'm going out shopping. I'm walking past Victoria's Secret. Oh, a shop window. Then I lift my shirt up. The context matters, Evelyn.
Does it though?
Yeah,
does it really? I don't think the context made it better.
At Fitness First, 5 minutes from then, okay? All right. So what do you answer?
What do I answer? I have answered that honestly myself, I don't really have an issue with it, but I fear that the person I'm with is going to have an issue with it. So basically what that tells her and me is that I care too much about what other people think and what society thinks.
Wow. So 60 pounds an hour for that? For shit I can tell you? Wow.
50 actually. 50.
What a great business model. Wow. Everybody should be a therapist now, you know? But no, I kid. I mean, I'm sure she actually adds some value to your life. But like, why are you worried about things that don't exist? You don't even have someone you're with yet. Why do you worry about like shit 5 steps ahead? You know?
Well, that's the issue. Yeah. That's the issue. Like, she's like, because of a recent situation as well, where I was overthinking a lot of things, and she was like, you need to like. Because I realized I was like, oh, I'm putting so much pressure on this one thing.
Yeah.
And on this one and on this one person probably, that it's just unreasonable and it's not fair to anybody, like neither to myself or that person. And it's like, and she's like, yeah, like obviously I have things to work on. And so it's just like, now we've talked about the here and now, just like to try and focus on the here and now for me. But it is this work that you have to do. At least I have to do it. And I want to do it because I need to understand myself, because I have a very complicated, like emotional past because of just family dynamics and then some things that have happened to me. Mm-hmm. So I am doing the work to try and understand myself and also trying to embrace and kind of own the things that have happened to me instead of letting it own me.
Yeah.
And so that's the work that I'm doing in therapy. And I know that for the I know that for the intents and purposes of comedy, we need to make fun of it because I'm being very earnest and very very earnest right now. So yes, we can make fun of it, but also like in a very earnest way. That's the work that I'm dedicated to doing on myself.
Yeah, listeners, you can do all of that, or you can get Manscaped, who are sponsoring this week's episode. What? I think they're both equally important. Okay? Therapy and manscaping.
Actually, okay, I have to tell you a story now.
Okay, tell me.
I have to tell you a story about Manscaped. Because a week ago, I receive a letter from the customs in Sweden, and they're like, hey, you have a package from England. And I'm like, what? Who's sending me packages from England? And then I go in and I look, and they've taken a photo, and on the photo, it just says Manscaped. And I'm like, why is Manscaped sending me things? And so I'm like, first of all, I didn't ask for it. Second of all, it's a product that I can't use. But I still had to pay 15 pounds to get it out of customs. And so do you know what they sent me?
What?
Okay.
Show us.
They sent me what they sent you, which is the premium package.
Yes, it's called
We have it
the
here.
perfect package. It comes
The
with
perfect
the
package.
shaver, the charger, free pack of underwear, ball deodorant, and
where's the
also a
underwear?
ball toner. This one is
Oh my
in the
God,
little
this is the
plastic
underwear?
bag. Yeah, this is the underwear.
Oh, I didn't. Oh my God.
It's good, you know. It's the I love this underwear because it's the fuckboy underwear with the band. You know, that's the fuckboy underwear. So if you don't want to wear it, give it to me, okay?
Oh my God.
You gotta,
Well-
listeners, if you want, you're gonna walk around underwear, you know, at home or wherever, you're gonna get the fuckboy underwear, okay? With the band. Always go with the band. It's good.
I mean, come on. Okay, so they sent me this and the underwear then that I discovered now. And then they sent me something called the Weed Whacker.
Yes, the nose
which
trimmer.
I was like, yeah, exactly. But I thought, because we joked about it on the podcast, and I thought they took it seriously. So I was like, oh, the Weed Whacker. That's the shaver for women, right? Because we thought that a Weed Whacker would be a funny name for the shaver for women. And then I'm like, no, it's just the nose and ear trimmer. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to use that probably.
You can give it as a gift to your friends, to your male friends.
I mean,
Why?
hey, here's a manscaping kit.
Yeah, it's really good, you know. No, I'm not saying this only because it sponsors me. I use it like a few times a week now. This shaver is really amazing.
Well,
know?
if I get like a boyfriend, I'll give it to him.
Wow. Okay. So I guess you can hold on to it for like 5-6 years.
Yeah,
And,
I could. Yeah.
You gotta tell therapy
But-
about this. Maybe that's good. Set yourself a deadline to get rid of this Manscaped box. See, because you love deadlines, right? So you can say, by July 2021, I need to get rid of this Manscaped box, which means I need to get a boyfriend before then. Okay? Or give it to your fuck buddy. You're like, hey, before you fuck, just take this. Take this, and then I'll come to your place on Saturday, but I'll mail this to you on Thursday so you can take care of yourself first, you know?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So you can look good for me.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So the only thing that I could possibly use in this like care package that they sent is the t-shirt. And I was like, oh, cool. I get a t-shirt. But also on the t-shirt, it just says Manscaped, your balls will thank you. When am I going to use that, Manscaped? When am I going to use this t-shirt? Honestly, like not even when walking like alone at home would I use this t-shirt, Nigel. And also I was like, okay, maybe I can cover it up because it's quite small here on the front. So I was like, okay, maybe I could cover it up. But then if you turn the shirt around, it's huge. It's huge. So when am I going to use this? Like, I paid £15 to get it out of customs for like it's a gift to me and I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for sending it to me. But I can't use it. I can't use it. Oh my God.
That means you have to find a guy now, okay? Otherwise you're
I have to
wasting
find a
15
guy now.
pounds. Otherwise you can kiss that 15 pounds goodbye, okay?
Oh my God.
So just go on Tinder and say, hey boy, would you like a free Manscaped package?
Should I just put a photo of this Manscaped stuff up on Tinder on my
Yes.
user, like my profile photo?
Yes.
Like Manscaped, if you date me, you get this.
Yes. You got the
Oh, and
perfect
also-
package.
Also, in the perfect package, the perfect package comes with, of course, the travel bag,
Yes.
which I probably will use because it's very nice.
It's very nice. I use it all the time.
But also, Nigel, it comes with an instruction leaf, but they've made it as like a newspaper
Yeah.
on how to shave your balls.
It's very
So-
important.
I know it's important, but the thing is, I never thought that I would know this much about manscaping. Like, I have so much knowledge now about manscaping.
Good.
Like, could I become like a manscaped stylist, like a hairstylist, but for manscaping?
Yeah. So you get them to sit down, you put a little gown on their balls. you
Yeah,
know?
exactly. And I'm like, so what did you want? Do you have
Yeah.
a photo of what you want?
Yeah.
And then just go
You
for
have a poster on the wall with all the styles. Oh, you
Oh
want a
my
number 12?
God.
You want a number 12? Okay.
Yes. Just like in Kloy, in North Korea when they only
you
can
have
choose
12
from.
different ball
Yeah.
hairstyles.
Exactly.
Yeah. But it's great. So listeners, take care of your balls, shave your balls, make your dick look bigger. Go to manscaped.com.
Look at this. This is so creepy.
What creepy. It's amazing. The way it's designed, if you use it correctly, it doesn't get you any nicks or cuts because there's a little slanted portion up top here. So you go like this, and it won't cut yourself. It's really good. And we all know how sensitive and delicate the ball area is, you know? So
yeah, we all know.
Yes.
We all know that.
Thank you. Thank you for knowing. Thank you for knowing, okay? And we just thank you for sponsoring us, Manscaped. I love this product. I hope you keep sponsoring future episodes of the podcast. So listeners, go to manscaped.com, use the code RICE for 20% off and free shipping. Get that. Don't be a lonely person. Don't end like me with 15 plants at age 40. Okay? So get manscaping, people.
Get manscaping. As a woman, I do prefer a manscaped peen.
Yeah. Does that scare you too? A penis with hair on it? Are you going to tell Claudia that? I take his pants down and see this bush, Claudia. Is it because of my childhood? Is it because of is it a childhood issue? I see hair and I'm like, whoa, what the fuck? It's so scary. But then he shaves and I'm like, great. As he's stroking his dog. Tell me more, Evelyn. Tell me more.
Like Dr. Evil.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. But she's great. I mean, that's so funny. I don't. I mean, it's so funny because it's like so Nigel, because I am thinking about this because like, you know, I do the K-drama cast. And for every episode, the joke is that the cover photo, I just started with this because I got so many cover photos where people photoshopped my face onto photos with like Lee Dong-wook, Hyun Bin, and Kang Han-ul. And so I was like, okay, I just put this up as like the cover photo for the shows that we're covering. But now I have to keep going with it. And I'm not asking the listeners to do it because it's quite a lot of work. So I've learned how to do it myself and I'm getting really good at it. But the thing is, I realize the better that I get at it, the sadder it is because I'm literally a 33-year-old woman photoshopping my face onto like a Korean actress's face so that I could just have a photo of myself next to Lee Dong-wook. And it's so sad, but it's really good. I'll show you. I'm getting really good at it.
You're so proud of this sad thing.
It's so good though, right? I mean, it's almost flawless.
Good. It's pretty good. Like you can,
flawless.
Yeah, like the angle, the face angle is all correct and.
It really is. And I'm like, when I did this, I was like, I am so proud. But then I also realized I spent like 2 hours on it. And I was like, very, very sad. It's funny. Actually, I didn't spend 2 hours on it. I spent like half an hour on it because I'm getting really good at it now.
I'm glad that you know that it's sad.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's really funny.
Well, I think because you said it on the pod now, in the future, people are going to send you more of those Photoshop photos, you know?
Thank you. Yes, do. I love him. But also it is sad because I actually hope that the Photoshopped photos get the crystal effect because people keep sending me crystals. And they keep sending me crystals.
Have you bought any crystals recently?
I have not bought any crystals. Stop it. I buy candles and I buy flowers and plants. So that's what I buy. I mean, candles. I like candles every night, man.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
Why not? Light them by yourself. Yeah. So the candles cast a shadow of you on the wall and it feels like there's another person with you, you know? That's
and
what
I'm having a
candles
glass
are
of
for.
wine with my shadow.
You see that your figure, and then because candles, the flame shakes, so the figure moves, so it feels like you have a friend. Hey,
I'm like Peter Pan.
Yeah.
I'm like my shadow's my friend.
You're like the saddest Peter Pan. Hey,
33-year-old
Grey Wall Evelyn. Hey, Wall Evelyn, how are you?
Oh my god. Oh, that's so funny. That's very, very funny.
Listeners, if you're enjoying the podcast so far, consider joining our Patreon at patreon.com/rice2meetyoupod to support the podcast and keep us going.
Yes, and you will also get access to some bonus stuff. Currently, the bonus material is my K-drama podcast, where I gossip about K-drama and Lee Dong-wook mostly, and how hot he is. Yeah.
Yeah, and in the future, there'll be more bonus stuff. And we have a whole backlog of content that we already made for Patreon, right? So it's like for as little as $5 a month, you get access to a backlog of content and the Discord and the K-drama stuff. Loads of goodies for you. And you get to support the podcast.
Yeah, and as Nigel said, we have a Discord with Patreon exclusive channels. So yeah, you get access to that. And yeah, basically support us.
Keep us free to say whatever you want without being canceled.
Okay, no, that's not the purpose. Okay, Nigel, just go to patreon.com/rice2meetyoupod. Thank you.
What else do listeners send you, man? Do you get like dick pics?
I get
and
so
nudes?
much.
You ever get dick pics from our listeners? I'm curious, you know. No. What if they be like, "Oh, Evelyn, I heard you like shaved balls," and then like a dick pic, ball pic.
I will say with dicks, they're better live than in photos.
Well,
unless you do, there was this artist who dressed the penises up in little costumes and took photos of them. That was really funny. So she had like one dressed as Saddam Hussein, I think, and then she had like one dressed as Abraham Lincoln, and it was just so funny. So she made like little backgrounds for them and everything. That was very cute. But listeners send me a lot of stuff. And after last week's episode, I got a lot of questions. So I was like, what did I say in last week's episode that got people to ask me these questions? Because they were quite deep questions, like very big.
Let's dive into it. That's your favorite type of question, right? The earnest,
but also
deep questions.
I mean, also, if you send it via Instagram, it's like, on Instagram, the question that you should send, like, at most, it should be like, what's your favorite color?
Yeah.
But like,
it should just be memes. None of these deep questions.
It should just be memes. But like, I got a question from a listener that, I mean, it's a good question, but so this listener asked me, do you sometimes wish your parents stayed in Asia and you were raised over there? I feel like many first-generation bananas, even though they belong to quite a successful group in society, think about this from time to time. And it's a really good question, but it's, I mean, we could dedicate a whole episode to this, but I know Nigel wouldn't want to. So
why do you assume that? Why?
Because of what you've said?
What did I say? If it can make it funny enough, sure. But sometimes some heartfelt, earnest moments are also good. It's all depends case by case basis.
Okay, so to answer her question, me personally, I have thought about what it would be like if I had been raised in Hong Kong instead of here, or in India instead of here. But I've been very grateful to be raised here because I had a very unique, not unique. I think the immigrant experience is very communal. Like the experience is quite similar wherever you're an immigrant. But I do appreciate being raised here because of the multicultural kind of dynamics and the multicultural environment that I was raised in. However, I do wish that I had been exposed and maybe encouraged a bit more to partake in Asian culture, so that I could have felt this Asian pride that I feel now as an adult when I was a kid. So that's probably the only thing that I sort of wish that I had instilled in me a bit more, like a pride in my culture. But otherwise, I think I feel pretty lucky about being brought up in Sweden.
Is that Evelyn saying essentially, yes, I wish I was born there because
How How did you derive that?
Because if you ask me the same question, Nigel, do you wish you were born in the West? My answer is straight up, no way. So straight up, no. Instead of that, well, sometimes I think and I feel and I observe and I wish I was exposed more and it's very diverse here and I'm grateful. My answer is no. No, I don't want to be born in the West. No.
Why? Why would you not want to?
Growing up here as an Asian person is terrible. You don't need me to tell you that.
Yeah,
you don't need me to tell you that. Yeah.
But I feel like because of the things that I've encountered here, that has developed my critical thinking and it has developed my ability to see different levels of things.
You get
and
that
hopefully
too. Growing up
developed
in
my
Asia,
empathy as well.
What? So you're saying growing up in Asia, you don't get to develop critical thinking? Wow.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the experiences that I've encountered here has led me to think about race and culture and privilege in a different way.
Yeah, you can get the same thing growing up in Asia and then moving yourself over.
Yeah, you could. Yeah. You could, definitely.
So I definitely do not want to grow up here.
Okay.
Definitely not.
So it's straight no.
Straight no. Straight, like, even if you say, like, okay, you growing up in Malaysia versus growing up here and doing, like, middle class in Malaysia versus middle class here growing up, I would still say no. Although I know the wealth should be so much better here. Middle class here, the wealth is so much better, of course. I'll still say no. I think if I grew up here, I'll just have, like, shitty taste in food. I won't be exposed to my own culture. I'll lose part of my identity. And you'll never belong here. You'll never belong. You can have a British passport, but tell me if you feel you belong. No way. And white people can be as accepting, as friendly to you as they want. You'll still never feel like you belong.
But that's the interesting part as well, Nigel, because what I'm hearing is that you're saying no because you would have to be part of the minority and sort of face that challenge that, diaspora kids faced, which was the feeling of not belonging, the othering, the kind of internalized shame about who you are and about your race and culture. And I'm saying that was a big part of it, but because I went through that stuff and then now ultimately am coming to terms with it and also overcoming it, that has brought me a different kind of perspective. And also,
sorry,
why are you laughing?
I was laughing because I'm like, really, Evelyn? Have you overcome it?
I'm working through it. That's what it is. Working through it.
Do you see the difference in amount of baggage we have, listeners?
So do you think? So it's so interesting. So you'd rather not have any baggage, and work through it, than have baggage and understand your baggage and own your baggage?
No, because the baggage is so, to me, maybe to other people, okay, it's so, I find it very cliche. Oh, I'm not British enough to be British. I'm not Asian enough to be Asian. Wow, I've heard that so many times, listeners. Find some new baggage, some new problems, please.
Oh my God.
And it's refreshing for me to talk about with someone who's in London now, who's from Asia or grew up in a predominantly Asian Asian area. Doesn't have to be from Asia, but like say Australia with heavy Asian population where they don't feel the othering, It's, to me, there's a lack of baggage, there's a lightness. Like to them, anything's possible, But as growing up Asian here, yeah, you have that baggage, which maybe because I can't relate, and maybe if I can't relate, then I feel like, yeah, same problem. I've heard it. I can't relate. Sorry.
You can't, but the thing is, like, just because you can't relate doesn't mean that you can't show empathy.
Yeah,
it doesn't mean that you need to dismiss it.
I try. I'm not dismissing it. I try to show
empathy.
You kind of
are.
But
I
rather,
kind of are.
I think for comedic purposes, okay? Cancel me again, people, if you want. I don't really care anymore. But yes, like, I'm just saying, when you go, you talk to someone who's from here, they will have this baggage, right? So it shapes their worldview. It shapes the topic of conversations they choose. It shapes what they talk about, what they think about, how they think and talk and carry themselves. Versus, without this baggage, it also shapes your worldview. And then it's a different vibe to them. I've interacted with both types,
You're basically saying that people are shaped by their upbringing.
Yeah, they are. And if I could, I'm saying if I could choose what upbringing to be shaped by, I would choose the upbringing I got in Asia.
Yeah, and that's absolutely your choice. And it's like, but the thing is, I understand what you're saying because you could succumb to the baggage and you can let it weigh you down.
By
but
the way,
I
listeners,
think that
sorry to cut you off real quick, but this is how Evelyn disagrees with people. When I hear you say, I understand what you're saying. I know the disagreement is coming. It's coming. It's coming. This is a very not politically correct, but diplomatic way of having a discussion, which I need to learn, by the way, because I'm like, wrong. This is my opinion, wrong.
Nigel, I don't see it as disagreement. I see it as we're having a discussion.
Oh,
Which is like...
That's
so
how I view it.
I'm totally okay with you having your opinion, but I'm relaying now my opinion and my experience. It doesn't mean that one of us is right and one of us is wrong.
That's not what I meant. This is something I need to learn from you. Like, to disagree with people in a nice way that doesn't hurt their feelings. Okay? Because I straight up say no, period. And then I give my reasoning, which is a terrible way to disagree with people.
It is very terrible. But also, I don't understand why you see it as disagreeing in the first place. I don't, like, you. Why don't you see it as...
It's okay to disagree.
It's okay to disagree, but the thing is, like, how I see it is that, oh, yeah, I mean, Nigel has this life experience, which is really interesting, and I respect that, and it's totally valid. And so now I'm going to share with him my life experience and hope that he hears it as well and stuff.
Maybe I'm a bit more like, I don't know, not defensive is not the wrong word, but I always view I assume people are more aggressive than they are verbally.
And if I want to be a bitch now, I could say, it's because you grew up in Asia without all this baggage. But I'm not going to be a bitch and say that.
Well, you just said that. And you gave you a sound effect. You can't say, I could say this, but I'm not going to.
It was a parentheses.
See?
I parenthesized.
This is how Evelyn, this is gaslighting. You know, I did not say that, Nigel. What's with your reality? Thinking that I said I don't want to say it.
I was being cute. While making a great point.
All right. What was your point? What was your point you wanted to make?
What were we talking about? That the thing is, I think that because it's bad, like, you can be weighed down by all of this, like all of the baggage that you have. And I was certainly for a very long time. And then because of all the work that I'm doing on myself, just personally, and because of, like, knowing you really and this podcast, I'm hopefully trying to, recognize that I have this baggage, but also it's not weighing me down. It's just something that comes with me, you know? It's just something that I have, and I've gained, I was weighed down by it, but I've also gained so much from it. And so it's this thing of, like, hopefully overcoming, it's hopefully being able to work with it rather than against it and not letting it weigh you down, because if you can, it's this cliche. It's the cliche of, like, you always learn something from every obstacle you face or challenge you face or failure you face. You just have to remember that you need to learn from it as opposed to, like, suffocate from it.
I think you will get that baggage, and you will learn from it if you move here as an adult. As you grow up in Asia and you move here. Of course, I have those thoughts too. But the difference is I also have all the cultural stuff I grew up with that I learned, the Asian literature. So essentially, sure, you might have a bit more baggage than me and you have learned a little bit more, but I also have this whole backlog of, like, Chinese literature I've read and Taiwanese stuff. Yeah, like all the stuff you learn in school, all the stuff you talk with your friends about that you have. I don't know. I just think life is richer. On one hand, you grew up in Asia, you have culture. You grew up here, you have baggage. So that's the options, really. That's the options.
I'm getting into the culture now, Nigel. Like, I'm consuming culture and stuff. I also read, like, I read some Chinese literature when I was younger.
It's very
in English,
different to do it in a vacuum by yourself, I think. And,
of course,
also watching TV shows. Not essentially, not rich enough, culturally speaking, I don't think.
Yeah, but should we be penalized for that?
No, I'm not saying you should be penalized.
If I'm just, like, engaging in the things that I have available to me now and trying to make an effort,
No, I'm
and
not, I'm not,
eventually getting somewhere.
I'm not penalizing you. I'm just saying that there's a difference. Doing it in
There
a
is a
vacuum is
difference,
so
yeah.
much more difficult than growing up in an environment that is about the culture.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's definitely something that you've gotten just by growing up there.
Yeah.
But then you should have some empathy for the people who didn't grow up there. But
I try. But then if you come at me with I'm not Asian enough to be Asian, I'm not British enough to be British. Oh, Jesus. Enough.
Why enough? Why?
Is it do you think such a
Tell
cliche
me,
thing?
why?
It's such a cliche thing.
You can't just write it off as a cliche.
No.
It's based on people's life experience.
It's how you express yourself. Okay? To me, I'm not Asian enough to be Asian, I'm not British enough to be British. That's a fridge magnet level thought. Like, heard it, 14-year-old shower thought. It's how you phrase it. You can write, I've read books about that scenario. Celeste Ng, Asian American writer. She wrote books that encapsulates that idea, which I read and I loved.
But you can't
I just think that phrase, if the extent of your thought of that theme is just that phrase, don't post it on social media. I've heard it. Okay, it doesn't deserve. It's like a picture of your coffee. I don't want to see it.
But surely people elaborate on it. Surely people elaborate on it.
Sometimes they just say that sentence and then they think it's the most insightful thing about themselves. I'm like, I've heard this, bro. I've heard this.
You're such a strange.
I want originality. I don't know why it's also because people don't call them out about how trite this opinion is.
Okay.
And people don't call them out because sometimes if a white person says, I've heard that before, okay, sure, every minority person has that, then they'll be considered racist and like insensitive. But I'm calling it out. I'm like, if you want to express that opinion, make it worth my time. Make it original. Make it interesting. Make it interesting. That's the point. That's what I'm trying to get to. Make it interesting. Sometimes a lot of the baggage people grew up here with, it's just not interesting.
That's so dismissive, Nigel. You can't expect somebody's trauma to entertain you.
Well, if you're going to put it on a public forum on Instagram, like, shouldn't I expect some kind of value? People post pictures of their tits on there. That is nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God. You did not just say that. You did not just say that.
I gained something from looking at it. It's like,
oh my God.
Okay.
Oh God.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
I'm not dismissive of that whole experience. I'm saying if you want to say it, you got to make it interesting. But a lot of the times people think just expressing that sentiment, I'm not British enough to be British, I'm not Asian enough to be Asian, that automatically makes them interesting. And it's not.
I don't think people think that. I think it's a genuine thing that they feel, and that is a way of expressing it. And it does it so clearly and it's so concise because in one sentence, you get the whole experience. And then, of course, people can talk about it in discussions and conversations and talk to other people about it and elaborate their thoughts. But if you want to express what it is in a concise way, that is a great sentence to do it. And also, if you're okay with people just posting their tits on Instagram, you should be okay with people just posting that quote on Instagram. It's not live, laugh, love. Okay.
I mean, to
it's
me,
not live, laugh, love.
That's the level. That's live, laugh, love level. To me.
Oh my God.
If it's only that quote without any discourse or exploration or, again, writers have covered this. Why should I read you instead of...
Then why do you have demands? If you're okay with somebody just posting their tits on Instagram, why do you have demands that when they post something like that on Instagram, that there needs to be an elaboration to it?
Well, tits are nice. I like tits. I don't like live, laugh, love. Right?
Can you get on board with the quote, I'm not Chinese enough to be Chinese, I'm not British enough to be British. Can you then get on board with that quote just being a poster on Instagram? And then if you want to talk to that person more, you can, go into their DMs or set up a call or whatever and ask them to elaborate. But can you just be okay with that being, and I'm not equating it to the tits version, but I'm just saying, if you're okay with somebody just posting their tits on Instagram, you should be okay with somebody just posting that phrase on Instagram without elaboration. That's way more interesting. actually, Nigel, wait, we'll do this. We'll get somebody to tattoo in I'm not Chinese enough to be Chinese, or I'm not British enough to be British on their tits, take a photo of it, and then post it on Instagram so it comes up in your feed. Would you be happy then?
No, I would hate that. You could be the hottest woman in the world, the best hits. If I see that, I'm like, ugh. It's like live, laugh, love, eat, pray, love. All. Why did you get a carpe diem? Why did you get carpe diem while you're at it? Huh?
And it's like they do it on one boob, so on the left one it's I'm not Chinese enough to be Chinese, and then on the right one it's I'm not British enough to be British, and then just post one of them up, and then you have to like swipe for the second part of the quote. Oh my god.
I would hate that.
Oh, so funny.
I would hate
it's so
that.
funny. I would love that. Please do that. I would love that. If somebody if a dude tattooed it on his balls, I'm not Chinese enough to be Chinese on the left one. I'm not British enough to be British on the right one. Very funny. I think that was quite smart and funny.
Yeah, it's good. I think it's maybe not. Maybe, okay, the tone, of course, I adopted this dismissive tone, but okay, of course I empathize, all right? I don't dismiss people's life experience. But also, sometimes a lot of the stuff that, if you see a British-born Chinese like show, a topic about being British-born Chinese, it always revolves around that. And is it always worth exploring? Is there no other topic a BBC person can talk about apart from that baggage? You know,
I think I understand what you mean now. It's like, because what usually when there's a show made about Asianness or something in the West, it's always centered around the trauma rather than just the life or experience.
It's always centered around that baggage, exactly. And like it colors your lens so much that I think it hampers your creation, your art. You know, even and you can't help it. Of course, you can't help it because it's your life, right? And like when you're in your Edinburgh show, first comedy show, you talk about like, it's so shaped by that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Whereas I think I talked to a Asian, not from here, it's like they have a freedom in thought to, today I went to Waitrose, you know, and just got, you know, they can talk about anything, it feels. So you get weighed down.
I understand what you mean, because the thing is, when you do grow up here, because it's such a large part of who you are, and it's being denied so much by everybody you meet or by the institutions around you, it becomes that thing. Like, I spent basically my whole entire adult life trying to unpack these issues, and that's why I do therapy, because it's such a large part of me that holds so many kind of issues that I need to work through them, and so it does become at the forefront of your mind, and it kind of, sometimes it impedes you from just living life, because you always have the race thing that you have to deal with. And I do agree with you there. I do agree. It's like, instead of, you know, every time somebody commissions some kind of thing with like an Asian person or a person of color or a minority, instead of centering that story around the trauma, let them center it around life, you know, around just their lived experience without needing to be beholden to the like,
lens of
issue
race.
of race. Yeah.
I think that's why people like Uncle Roger. I just talk about egg fried rice. Uncle Roger, as if he lives in a world where there are no white people, you know, and then he's just baffled, like, who is this alien species making rice like this? You know?
That's really funny.
Fuck? Yeah, I think that's why people like it, because he's so, there's no baggage.
Yeah.
He's so Asian and he loves it.
Yeah.
And he's like, this is the only way to live. Like, what the fuck are you guys talking about?
Yeah.
You know?
I get it. I get what you mean. Yeah, definitely. And I agree. And
you put it in a better way. You put it in a less cancelable way. Apart from being so uninteresting, so cliche, so trite, so boring.
You see what you can accomplish, Nigel, when you are earnest for just like 5 minutes? Do you see the kind of conversations we can have?
Hey, I start out from that like antagonistic position, and I soften it. We go.
And then I have to wear you down.
Yeah.
I have to wear you down with questions and rational, logical, like, what do you mean, Nigel? Why do you make it so difficult for people to love you?
Oh no!
Ouch! Why do you...
Ouch!
No, I'm kidding.
That hit deep. That hit deep. That's not even air horn level deep. That's like, wow, I gotta turn the lights off and think about my life now deep.
Why do you have this wall of harshness? Why won't you just let people see you?
I think I do. But turns out
No,
I don't.
You do. I'm talking to myself, actually. That's the issue I have. Literally. That's the issue I have.
Yeah, send us more deep questions, listeners. Wasn't that great? Back to our Asian culture roots. It was actually nice. I actually enjoyed it.
Yeah, actually do send us more questions like this.
Yeah.
And we'll get into it and talk about these issues. Because honestly, I think we both, because we have such different perspectives about being Asian, we have a great space for talking about these things because our perspectives are so different.
And we're funny. We're funny. See you next week, people.